Have you ever pondered over the question, what is the source of all suffering? This inquiry is not just philosophical, but also forms the basis of the teachings of Siddhartha Gautama, the Buddha. Born in the 6th century BCE, Siddhartha Gautama was a prince in what is now known as Nepal. Despite his royal comforts, he found himself drawn to the suffering he saw outside the palace walls. This led him to renounce his princely life, seeking answers to the profound question of suffering and the impermanence of life. He meditated under a Bodhi tree, determined not to rise until he found the truth. This steadfast dedication gave birth to the Buddha, or the Enlightened One. His enlightenment was not a divine revelation, but a deep understanding of the nature of life and reality. The Buddha's teachings, known as Dhamma, revolve around the Four Noble Truths. First, he acknowledged the existence of suffering, or dukkha. Life, he stated, is inherently unsatisfactory, filled with pain, aging, and death. But this suffering is not without cause. The second truth identifies the cause of suffering as tanha, or desire. This is the thirst for life to be different than it is, the craving for pleasure, existence, and non-existence. It is this attachment that leads to suffering. But do not despair, for the third noble truth brings hope. It states that the end of suffering, or nibbana, is achievable. It is the extinguishing of desire, the liberation from the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth, known as samsara. The fourth and final noble truth is the path leading to the end of suffering, called the Noble Eightfold Path. It provides a practical guideline for ethical conduct, mental discipline, and wisdom. It includes right understanding, right thought, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. This path is not a set of rules, but a guide to living a balanced and mindful life. It encourages individuals to see the world as it truly is, not as they wish it to be. It is a journey towards self-awakening and liberation, a path that anyone, regardless of background or belief, can walk. The Buddha also emphasized the concept of anatta, or selflessness. He suggested that the belief in a permanent and unchanging self is a delusion and the cause of suffering. Instead, he proposed that everything is interconnected and constantly changing. In summary, the teachings of the Buddha offer profound insights into the nature of existence. They teach us that suffering is a part of life, but it is not without cause. The root of suffering lies in our desires and attachments, but there is a way to end it. By following the Noble Eightfold Path, one can achieve liberation and enlightenment. The Buddha's teachings encourage us to live mindfully, to understand the impermanence of all things, and to see the interconnectedness of all life. They provide a path to a life of peace, wisdom, and compassion. Now, carry these teachings with you, reflect on them, and see how they resonate with your life. Remember, the Buddha's teachings are not about believing blindly, but about investigating and experiencing reality as it is. As the Buddha himself said, "Be a lamp unto yourself."